You're right on time for Hope TV News Watch on this 29th day of September 2022. My name is Kennedy Kimani, and on the sign language interpretation tonight is the one and only Elizabeth Wanjiku. Now, President William Ruto has ordered the National Treasury to cut 300 billion shillings from the 2022-2023 budget to relieve Kenya's spending and borrowing pressures, adding that the reduction of spending is pegged on reducing the government's borrowing needs from an estimated 900 billion shillings in the fiscal year to close the financial hole.
Honorable Speakers, honorable members, I have news, and it is not very good news. Our financial situation is not very good. For Kenya to grow to an upper income country, we need to invest at least 25% of our GDP. Our current national savings is below 10% of our GDP, which translates to an investment savings deficit of 15% of our GDP. Over the last decade, we have sought to close this gap with public borrowing. This year alone, we budgeted to borrow 900 billion to finance both development and recurrent expenditure. You're all aware that our total collection is 2.1 trillion, which is only enough to pay debt and to pay salaries. Everything else, we have to borrow. The government, members, should never borrow to finance recurrent expenditure. It is not prudent, it is not sustainable, it is simply wrong. We must bring ourselves and our country to sanity. Over the next 3 years, we must reverse this and go back to the situation where government contributes to the national saving efforts by keeping recurrent expenditure below revenue.
At the same time, President William Ruto has called for the total support of Parliament to ensure the implementation of the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. The President presided over the first joint session of the 13th Parliament, where he further highlighted his plan for the country. First on the list of priorities is dealing with the economy of the country, as the President announced ways to increase the country's revenue and reduce the debt burden. Our very own Tiffany Wambui with the following story.
As the 13th Parliament held its first session earlier today, President William Ruto presided over the session as he delivered his legislative agenda to the bicameral Parliament. William Ruto celebrated the election of more women legislators into single-member constituencies as a great milestone, highlighting the achievement as a positive step towards building confidence in engaging women in the decision-making process. He affirmed his commitment to lead an administration dedicated to a just and fair government, ready to serve all Kenyans regardless of any distinctions, adding that service delivery shall be impartial regardless of political affiliations or voter preference.
I promise to lead an administration dedicated to the just and fair government of all Kenyans in order to deliver a Kenya for everybody. I commit to be the loyal, hard-working, devoted president of every Kenyan, and my administration will serve all without regard to any distinction, real or imagined.
Ruto further revealed his mission to upscale agricultural productivity in the country in ensuring that farmers, fishermen, and pastoralists contribute to sustainable economic growth through the production of adequate and affordable food and generation of income.
Consequently, we have been deliberate in our efforts to restore sanity and introduce greater responsibility in the management of public resources. One significant intervention is the resolve to abandon consumption subsidies in favor of supporting and investing in production. This is why we have made available fertilizer to our farmers at cheaper rates, of 3,500 per 50 kilogram bag, down from 6,500. We are exploring further mechanisms to bring these prices down.
The president revealed that he has instructed the National Treasury to work with various ministries to exclude 300 billion Kenya shillings in this year's budget, as the market cannot sustain the current extent of borrowing. The president has vowed to turn the economy of the country in 3 years and ensure sustainability of the country's needs and debts.
Our financial situation is not very good. For Kenya to grow to an upper income country, we need to invest at least 25% of our GDP. Our current national savings is below 10% of our GDP, which translates to an investment savings deficit of 15% of our GDP.
Following the recent declaration of the Constituency Development Fund CDF illegal by the Supreme Court, Ruto acknowledged the pivotal nature of the fund, stating that it has made a significant difference in the lives of many citizens and can be adjusted to fit the principles of the Constitution.
I know the contribution to the National Government Constituency Development Fund has made in making life better for our citizens. Having served in Parliament for 15 years, before and after the establishment of the National Government CDF, I know the difference it makes is monumental.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tiffany Wamboy.
Moving on, President Ruto says that the current social security infrastructure in the country, including the National Social Security Fund (NSSF) and private savings schemes, only cater to people in formal employment, leaving out a bulk of Kenyans in the informal sector. The head of state said his administration intends to overhaul the social security infrastructure to make it more inclusive.
In many countries, social security, and particularly pension systems, contributes significantly to the national savings. Our current social security infrastructure, both public, that is the NSSF, and private, only cater for people in formal employment, thereby excluding the vast majority of working Kenyans. There is no retired Kenyan today who is living on their NSSF retirement benefits. The meager current contribution of Kenya shillings 200 a month adds up to 72,000 over 30 years. There is no rate of return on earth that can grow this into an adequate pension. I mean, we just have to be honest with ourselves.
Now, the Kenya Human Rights Commission has called on legislators to reject the recent cabinet appointees named by President William Ruto. They failed to meet the Chapter 6 of the Constitution, which addresses the conduct of leaders. According to the commission, about 7 appointees in the Kenya Kwanza cabinet have questionable characters. Additionally, they have questioned the failure by the president to meet the 2/3 gender rule of the cabinet, despite promising during the campaigns that 50% of his cabinet will be women. Our very own Grace Ongoi with more on the story.
There have been mixed reactions from the public regarding the composition of the cabinet that was named on Tuesday, 27 September 2022 by President William Ruto. The Kenya Human Rights Commission becomes the latest party to poke holes at the appointees, adding that the composition of the cabinet is in violation of the Constitution.
Over 7 appointees to the Kenya Kwanza cabinet have allegedly been implicated in grave crimes, including corruption, rape, murder, and have ongoing court cases, begging the question, is there intent to protect, respect, and uphold the Constitution?
During the campaigns, President William Ruto had alluded that his government will have a 50% representation of women. In the just-named cabinet, only 10 women out of 22 appointments have been nominated, 7 picked for cabinet secretary positions, and 3 to cabinet-level portfolios. Speaking on the matter, the human rights defenders called for the recalling of some names in order to create room for more women to be appointed.
Thus far, during the recently concluded general elections, the now president made a declaration to ensure the actualization of the two-thirds gender rule in accordance with Article 27(8), which states that not more than two-thirds of members of elective or appointive bodies shall be of the same gender. This has not been honored.
The question of whether the composition reflects the ethnic and regional diversity of the people of Kenya, the commission interrogated why 50% of the appointees are from the Gema communities, 30% from the Rift Valley region, with the rest of the 20% left to the other communities. A matter they noted waters down the inclusion gains.
About 50% of the appointees are from the Gema community, the Gikuyu, Embu, and Meru communities. About 30% are from the Rift Valley, and only 20% has been allocated to a few other communities in Kenya. It is safe to conclude that the current cabinet composition will continue to exacerbate the long-fought ethnic disgruntlement, battle, and it also draws back on the inclusion gains made so far.
From the named appointees, it is evident that President Ruto's close allies have been rewarded with positions, most of whom are politicians. Additionally, 3 more portfolios that did not exist have been created. The human rights defenders criticize this for being an abuse of power and the office of the president.
This list of cabinet appointees can be construed as a reward for the president's sycophants, a move that fails the governance test of balancing politics, economics, and social aspects in the selection of cabinet members. This further raises questions about some of the cabinet members' capabilities and credentials to serve and deliver in the dockets assigned. Further, the appointments of politicians to the position of cabinet secretaries is an expensive venture, as approximately 14.7 billion will need to be set aside to finance by elections in areas where elected members have been appointed to aforementioned positions.
The vetting of the cabinet nominees by Parliament is among the first priorities of the 13th Parliament, which has officially been opened today by President William Ruto.
Honorable Speaker of the Senate, Right Honorable Amason Kingi.
Grace Wangoi for TV News Watch.
Thank you so much, Grace, for that report. Now, a section of women activists from Mombasa County are now appealing to President William Ruto to consider more appointments in Mombasa County in his next state appointments. The lobby chair lady, Farida Rashid, regretted that Mombasa County was left out despite its immense contribution to Kenya Kwanza during the August 9 elections.
Tunataka watu wachaguliwe wa hapa. Walofanya hapa county walifanya bidii, na watu wengine walitoa pesa zao kufanya kampeni walianguka, na ni lazima waangaliwe hao. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema hivi, kama wao wanafanya hivi, na pia tunataka pia rais yetu achukue hatua kama hiyo, pia na yeye atuchague sisi watu wa Mombasa tuende kwingine pia tukafanye kazi kama haiwezekani. Kwa sababu watu wamekufa, na watu wengi wamekufa kwa sababu ya kampeni. Kufa ni kwa sababu watu wameathirika wengi. Umaskini umekithiri. Na yeye alisema tunataka kuangalia wale watu wa chini, kama wale kina mama mboga alivyosema, na kina bodaboda, na mama wengi kazi zao ni hizo za viazi, mboga, biashara za chini.
Sisi tumeridhika nayo, lakini bado sisi watu wa Mombasa tumeona kama kumerukwa hapa Mombasa. Na kwa ukweli sisi tulipiga kura na watu walikuchangamkia, na kuna viongozi ambao walikuwa wamekusimamia. Lakini leo hii tumeangalia, tuona Mombasa ni kama umeskip. Umeenda Kwale, umeenda Kilifi. Mombasa ndio center ambao wewe ulikuwa usiku na mchana hupumui mpaka ukanyage Mombasa. Lakini leo tuona Mombasa kama umeiruka.
Sasa hawa watoto wengine, hawa na vijana wetu wengine watanufaika vipi katika hii serikali ambayo sisi kama hatukuwachagua wale, tulikuchagua wewe? We campaigned you. We voted you. Sisi ambao tuliokukampenia, sisi tutapata wapi manufaa katika serikali yako? Maana serikali iliyoko ni ile ile iliyokuweko. Haijatoka. Hata ukiangalia deputy governor ni wao, speaker ni wao, county secretary ni wao, uwajiri ni wao, ofisi bado ya waziri wa fedha ni wale wale. Sisi ambao pia sisi ni wa Kenya na hii Mombasa pia sisi ni yetu.
The residents of Narok County are confident that the nomination of Soipan Tuya as the Cabinet Secretary in charge of Environment and Forestry will help in conserving Masai Mau Forest and the larger Mara Serengeti ecosystem. The residents say that the Mau Forest and Masai Mara Game Reserve are great resources in the county which should be guarded passionately.
Tunafurahi sana kwa sababu ya mheshimiwa wetu rais wetu Ruto kwa kutuchagulia mtoto wetu ambaye ni Soipan, ambaye ni msaliwa wa hapa. Letu ni furaha ndio kubwa sana kwa sababu amelelewa hapa, amekuwa hapa, na tunaona ama tunatumai atakuja tena kutufanyia kazi kubwa kwa sababu pale awali alitufanyia kazi kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo hii ambaye tena amepewa, tunatumai atakuja tena kufanya kubwa.
Ni siku ya kwanza kumpata kama ni binti ama mwanamke wa kwanza kuwa CS wa misitu, na ni kitu cha maana sana kama Narok. Tumefurahia sana kumpata kwa sababu tukimwona ya kwamba amemweka yeye ni njia moja ya kwamba yeye ametuona kama Narok tunafaa katika serikali yake.
Amekuwa women rep Narok County. Tumefurahia kufanya kazi pamoja na yeye, na since mumetoa mtu mmoja ambaye ni mwanamke ambaye atatusimamia sisi kama Narok County, tumeshukuru sana, tumefurahia. Hata tujui tuseme nini, lakini we are so happy and grateful.
And now it's time for a quick breather here on Hope TV News Watch. I'll be back with more stories. See you after this short break.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the X-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit ikakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
Hata kuwe kuna shida, Bwana Yesu ameshinda. Hata mambo yawe magumu.
You know we can't forget them. And neither can you. Enjoy all-time classics every Thursday at 11 a.m.
Welcome back. Now, Nyandarua Governor Moses Badilisha Kiari has called for an immediate physical audit and head count of all county employees in a bid to weed out ghost workers. Governor Badilisha says the county lacks a dependable, harmonized and definite record on the number of its employees, adding that the payroll unit is providing two conflicting figures, with the human resource unit providing another figure, which shows a difference of 360 employees.
I have this afternoon instructed that a physical head count of all county staff be conducted on Wednesday, 5th October 2022. in all the sub-county headquarters, every employee shall provide A, their original letter of appointment and a copy of the same, and B, original and copies of the academic certificate certified by the issuing institution or its local equivalent where the institution is foreign, and C, an original and copy of their identification documents. This is a contractual office. There was another person before me, and if he had chose to work with illegal people, that was him. But now these are a different regime, and we would like to work with official workers. We have got very qualified people here in Nyandarua, very hardworking, very passionate, and we want to work with them so that we can also be able to motivate them and make sure that they get what they deserve so that they can continue giving the people of Nyandarua the services that they require.
Still in Nyandarua County, and Governor Moses Badilisha has today flagged off drugs consignment worth 17.5 million shillings to be distributed to 78 health facilities in the county. While affirming his commitments towards streamlining health services across the county, the governor noted that another consignment worth 10 million shillings will be delivered in 10 days.
Governor here and his government is very committed and is taking the health sector as a priority. This is what we say, that he wants to run with the medical sector, provision of medicine, provision of the equipment, and more importantly, like Dr. Mungai and others have mentioned, to provide the personnel in the hospitals. That one I can assure you, members and the residents of Nyandarua, the governor and the government is committed to do that.
Najua kuanzia mwezi wa 3 hatujawahi kuwa na dawa zikikuja kwa mahospitali zetu. Wale madaktari wetu wamechunga zile zilikuwa, wamekuwa wakijisqueeze hapa na pale, na tunawashukuru kwa sababu wamesimamia mahospitali yetu hata wakiwa hawana dawa za kutosha. Lakini leo tumeanza na tunataka kuahidi wananchi kuendelea. Ile kitu tutahakikisha kabisa inafanyika ni kuwa na dawa katika mahospitali wetu, kwa sababu kitu kingine chochote kinaweza gojea, lakini ugonjwa hauwezi gojea. Hata saa hii mmoja wetu hapa akijihisi vibaya, tutasimamisha hii press conference, tushike huyo mtu mpaka tumpeleke kwa daktari. Akishatibiwa ndio maisha inaweza endelea, si ndio?
Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu has reassured the residents that the ongoing expansion of Narok County Referral Hospital and the construction of the Kenya Medical Training College will be completed in 3 months' time. Ntutu spoke when he toured the ongoing constructions at the hospital, where he said he is committed to boost the health sector in his first 100 days in office, as he promised the residents before the elections.
The county is fortunate to have a good man, strong man with a vision. I think our plan to see the hospitals has been extremely successful. We visited 3 or 4 facilities so far. We will see more in the course of the next 1 or 2 days. We are going through detail, room by room, floor by floor, specialty by specialty. My carry home message really so far and understanding is I think projects will be complete in time. They should be equipped with the infrastructure and medical technology and equipment which is world class. 3 is that the patients, every patient, any part of the world should get access to good health care at the lowest cost.
The new referral hospital and the KMTC is going on very well. We want to complete both projects in the next 3 months. They're working very hard, day and night. Also, we are going to go to Ololunga. We are opening up a new maternity wing in Ololunga, where they will visit Lorgorian, and then they will go to Girgoris, and then they will go to Murua Digir. Again, the reason why they are here, they want to help our health sector here in Narok County. Like I promised the resident of Narok, we want to really make our hospital work. We want to change completely the way we manage things. And I think we have started doing that. Me, as your governor, I want to make sure that these hospitals work. And tomorrow morning, I'm meeting all the chairmen of the 93 dispensaries and also 25 health centers and also 4 referral hospitals and here and this our referral hospital here in Narok.
Now, the residents of Mudengera ward in Laikipia County are living in fear, as one of the dams, Mukuruini Dam, is on the verge of breaking. According to the locals, the dam was built by the colonial settlers in 1946, has been intact until a local contractor decided to cut down some trees while doing a water pumping project in the dam that loosened the walls.
Hii shida ililetwa na wakati contractor alikuja kwa site, kuna mahali aliguza, kuna miti ilikatwa ambayo ilikuwa imeshikilia the embankment of the dam, na pia kuna wakati maji ilifugwa ili iende kwa intake. Wakati maji ilifugwa iende kwa intake, the spillover ikakuja the other side, watu wakakosa mahali ya kupitia. Wananchi wenyewe waliita the concerned wale watu walikuwa na huu mradi, lakini hawakukuja. Wakaona hii dam itapasuka na itabeba watoto, so wakachukua ile miti ilikuwa imekatika pale, wakajengea bridge na pia wakapasua ile dike ilikuwa imewekwa the other side mahali kuna intake, ili dam iweze kupumua na maji iweze kujicontrol,
ili hii risk ya maji kugonga hiyo dike wahusishwe. Na number 2, kuna wenye wanatoka hii ngambo watoto wakienda Mudengera Primary wasivuke kwa saa hii kwa sababu kuna risk. Haya, pia in future kama itaendelea hii mradi kujengwe bridge such that watoto hawawezi wakuwe wamezuiwa kuanguka kwa maji, na pia damu yenyewe haijafensiwa, hakuna ua yenye imezunguka hii dam.
Now, Uasin Gishu Governor Jonathan Abiy Chelilim has ordered the County Alcoholic Drinks Control Board to put in place sufficient measures that will ensure the supply and sale of illicit liquor that has been rampant is dealt with. Speaking in Moiben during a graduation ceremony of rehabilitated alcohol and drug users, the governor also revealed that he had set up a task force that will investigate the root cause of rising alcoholism amongst the youth and suggest solutions to the challenge.
Nashukuru Mungu kuwa na wazazi wazuri na pia the county program kwa kunipatia hii chance ya kubadilika, na naweza sema saa hii mimi ni mlevi aliyepona. Venye nime recover ni in 3 stages ama 3 layers. Naweza sema mentally, physically na spiritually. Terminal ulevi, alcoholism imenifanya baya. I was supposed to graduate 2017 but I've never followed up. I want to thank the Uasin Gishu government for this opportunity, for making us change. Now nikitoka nje ni kuenda kwa kama ndege, hakuna kuangalia nyuma tena.
Tunachoomba kwamba kwa swala hili mzima ni kwamba tutaomba ushirikiano haswa katika utekelezaji wa masuala kwamba pombe na registration, na kuhakikisha kwamba maeneo yetu ya burudani yamekaguliwa vizuri na maeneo yetu ya burudani ni ya kiwango wastani. Tusiye tukawa kwamba tuna mtaa kidogo lakini tukishakuta pale ule mtaa una mambaa karibu 20, manduka mawili, mambaa 20. Sasa unakuta kwamba mtaa siku yote 24 hours watu wanywe pombe pale.
These are our own future leaders. Na wakiharibika sasa tumeharibu mchi. Pia we want to empower communities by giving alternative source of income. Tuhakikishe kwamba kama kuna mtu ambaye ameweshwa na hii pombe, tutafute njia bwana chief na sisi wote na county government. Tutafanyia nini huyu mtu mwenye anategemea pombe ili afundishe watoto? Tutafanyia nini yeye akubali kwamba tunaweza tafuta njia nyingine ya kupata pesa?
Join John Carson every weekday as he takes us on a journey through the Bible.
Whoever shall seek to save his life, if you go back to living for yourself, you're going to lose it. But whoever shall lose his life, give up his life for my sake, he shall preserve it.
Enjoy interesting, knowledge-packed, yet simple teachings through his humor and in-depth understanding of God's Word.
The last people that tried to put God in a box, literally, he rose again. He wouldn't stay in their compartment. If God was small enough for me to figure out, he wouldn't be big enough for me to worship.
Tune in to Hope TV for John Carson every 10 p.m., 4 a.m., and 10 a.m. weekdays on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. You're watching Hope TV Newswatch. Now let's get down to business. Prudential PLC, through its community investment arm, Prudence Foundation, has partnered with the popular Akili Kids children television channel to impart financial skills to over 6 million children in Kenya aged 7 to 12 years every week. Announcing the partnership, Prudence Foundation Executive Director Mark Fancy said the goal of the initiative is to reach as many children as possible in the country. This new partnership with Akili Kids will help socialize and raise awareness of the Chaching Financial Literacy Program in the country, which is also currently being implemented in schools with Junior Achievement and the Ministry of Education.
Through this partnership, we'll reach 6.5 million children weekly, which is a huge amount. And Chaching is a financial education program we developed over 10 years ago, and has already reached over 1 million children through schools and school curriculums. And we also partner with Junior Achievement here in Kenya and the Ministry of Education to try and drive that.
We believe that we have a responsibility as Prudential to transfer and empower our children to have financial literacy skills. So the Chaching program essentially teaches children about money smart skills. And we peg that on very simple and bite-sized content around earning, saving, spending, and donating. Now, with regards to how we are spreading and increasing reach for Chaching, it's with partnerships such as the one we have launched today, but we are also, through Junior Achievement, relaying the same curriculum through schools where we train teachers, because we believe that teachers have the greatest influence given that they see our children every day.
Now let's get sporty. KCB FC triumphed over Ngonga Road-based League Ndogo 5-0 in a friendly match played at Karen Leadership Center. Speaking after the game, KCB FC captain Michael Mutinda praised his side, saying the new signings have been able to integrate well in the squad and hopes they keep on training ahead of the 2022-2023 season.
Game ya leo first, tuna appreciate our say come through. Ni game poa, at least tuna get to know level ya fitness yetu maliko, tunajigauge pole pole. Pia inatupea winning mentality since tuna keep on winning the friendly matches. Kwa squad imeingia first, na thank coach kunotice ama vijana youngsters si big like ati big signings wametoka this and this, ni wasiwani wamekaa youngsters, na for now wana gel poa na team, tumewa welcome poa kwa team. Wame to know the system of play, wame to know kitu tunataka kuachieve kwa ligi pia. So wame gel poa, wako ready pia to go.
And finally, Chelsea legend John Obi Mikel has announced his retirement from professional football. The 35-year-old represented a total of 7 clubs during his career, including 3 in the English football, with the bulk of his outings coming for Chelsea. The midfielder was also a long-standing member of the Nigeria team, earning 91 caps since making his debut as a teenager in the year 2005. And with that, to come the tail end of our news tonight. Many thanks to you for watching Hope TV Newswatch. From the crew that made this bulletin a success, have yourselves a good night. Kennedy Kimani is my name, and Elizabeth Wanjiku has been the sign language interpreter.